Hey guys, good afternoon. It is Thursday, and we've got a Friday coming up, and these summer weeks just keep rolling along. We're right here in the middle of the dog days of summer, where people are trying to get a last trip in, but everybody's looking forward to football and the cooler weather. Kind of a cool part of the year. Anyhow, I'm digressing just a tad. So the reason I'm doing this video, it's actually on behalf of my brother, Eric, and my uncle. And it was an experience that I had today. I had my car serviced at the Honda dealership in town, and I had to get a Lyft ride home because it was going to take 3 hours. They had to do the oil and the brake fluid and new tires, so it took a couple hours. So I'm driving home with this guy, nice black guy, probably around 40, maybe late 30s. It's kind of hard to tell. I didn't ask him. Well, we got to talking, and he was proceeded to tell me about this situation that he has going with the Internal Revenue Service, IRS. He moved from Wisconsin earlier in the year and now lives in Oregon. And apparently there's some kind of a snafu with the taxes he paid for when he worked and earned in Wisconsin as opposed to Oregon. And somehow the IRS is trying to tell him that he owes an extra, get this, let's just say it's not $100, it's not $1,000, $5,000. I mean, that's no small amount of change for a guy who's driving for Lyft. And I can't remember what his wife did, but I can't imagine. I mean, maybe they're right at the 100 grand mark for combined, but combined, that's like both of them are basically middle class, making about 50 or 60 a year, which isn't bad in some parts of the country, but man, you can't live on that in California and most of the rest of the west and east coast. And so the reason I bring this up is because just a couple days ago, the Democrats and their gang of ruthless, un-American Marxists passed this bullshit climate change hoax bill, I can't talk, and in it, hiring 87,000 new IRS agents, which is double what they currently have and would make it the largest government agency in the country. That ought to terrify everybody. We don't need a Eastern European, East Germany, pre-wall coming down, Stasi, just basically picking people out because they're opponents of whoever is in charge at the time. I mean, that's what's happening now. It's pretty obvious. And the left is interesting. They're basically, their argument is this: Trump is so bad that we have to resort to extraordinary measures to try and hold him accountable, which is absolutely ridiculous. Everybody is considered innocent until proven guilty. Nobody gets preferential treatment under the law. The president has a lot of authorities under Article 2 in the Constitution. And I realize he's a private citizen, but they are investigating a matter that happened like right when he left the White House. And, let's just get real here for a second. There's all this coverage, and it's distorted. I don't know if I want to call it a straight up lie, because it was his administration that he's the head of that, took some things down to Mar-a-Lago. However, guys, Trump, he's not going to be talking to the admin assistants or even like the middle level managers over at the National Archives or whomever it is responsible for packing up and moving and getting out of the White House, by January 21st. So the news media, what they roll with is Trump did this. No, he didn't. He left on a helicopter, a Marine helicopter. He didn't have a briefcase. He didn't have anything in his pockets. He wasn't carrying a backpack, a satchel, a suitcase, an overcoat. So, I mean, you know what? I am just going to go ahead and call it. It's a damn lie. And unfortunately, what it does is it feeds into this paranoia that this guy is like somehow Hitler, which again, well, I'll do that in another video. I'm going to go ahead and debunk that in my next video, because that's also a load of baloney too. It's just plainly not fucking true. And I'll leave it at that for now. So getting back to this nice black guy, man, he was really cool. He was a good driver. He liked sports. You know, he was talking to me about other things. And I'm just thinking, you know, in our country, we live in a free country, and we have an IRS that is tracking down a hardworking African-American black dude who, you know, by our history, you know, there is some level of, you know, permanent systemic situation where the blacks seem to be falling behind. And it's not all because of that, but it's kind of like when they started, if we both started the race back after the Civil War, you know, everybody else that wasn't black, you know, got a little bit of a head start. That's kind of how I look at it. I don't believe in full-on reparations, but I think we do need to, you know, make some things right with the black community and not oppress them. I mean, why the fuck is an IRS agent going after a fucking black guy, a hardworking black guy, over $5,000, you know, and he moved? I mean, it just seems so damn petty. Why doesn't he go after Jeff Bezos? There's probably something in, you know, these guys that are in corporate America. I could guarantee if they audited everybody in corporate America, I'd be willing to bet that a good full 25 to 30% of them did something, you know, wrong and you know, possibly rising to the level of illegality. I mean, it's just a ruthless world out there. And the IRS, I can't even, what's going on in the country, guys? Really? You think that that's reasonable? You think this guy is a conservative? Just based on the stats, he's probably not. We didn't talk politics, but more than likely he's a Democrat, you know? So these guys, it's like it's not just going after conservatives. It sounds like they're going after fucking everybody. They just want control, and they want to lock down this country and, you know, make sure that the citizenry knows, you know, who's in control. And, you know, we got to push back on this, you know, and I don't know the most effective way to do it. You know, perhaps it's getting out to the media. Perhaps it's me doing, you know, more videos like this and, you know, telling the truth from real life experiences. Because what you hear, the spin coming out of the White House, nobody under $400,000 is going to get targeted. And we already know that that's a pre-lie, because they haven't even added agents, and they're already going after people that fucking don't make that much. So already, I'm just going to call it, that's a fucking straight up 5 Pinocchios, pants on fire lie. And it's getting so old. These guys lie. These guys actually lie way more than Trump ever did. You know, Trump would get, you know, some numbers wrong and maybe forget a historical fact, and they'd accuse him of lying. Well, you know what? Lying requires intent. So that's a big scam right there anyway. So 30,000 lies. No, that's a fucking scam. Don't fucking believe it. It's just, again, another tactic to try and undermine Trump and make people think that he doesn't, you know, deserve or is fit in some way to, you know, to be the president. But you know what? That's our decision. It's not Merrick Garland. It's not Joe Biden. It's fucking certainly not crazy Bernie Bolshevik Sanders. What kind of a dude goes to Moscow for his fucking honeymoon? And I believe it was like in the fall or winter, where it's like bones ass cold. I mean, if that doesn't tell you all you need to know about what this guy is, I don't know what else to frickin' tell you. I'm not saying you can't ever go to Russia, but Jesus Christ, on your fucking honeymoon, that kind of sort of says something, right? Moscow's romantic because, you know, we like this, you know, central-handed, you know, communist, you know, type government. So anyway, just to wrap it up, the IRS is targeting everybody, and they're targeting blacks. I just met one. Anyway, let's go ahead and say a big friggin' prayer. Let's push back when we can and tell the IRS to pound sand. This is Jason from Vancouver. I'm out.